जागो 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 कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। सहस्त्रार में आके, सहस्त्रार में आके छू ही लेंगे वो हम आसमां। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। मूलाधार में तुम बैठी हो माँ, सदियों से तुम सोई हुई। मूलाधार में तुम बैठी हो माँ, सदियों से तुम सोई हुई। इच्छा हुई पाले तुझको, इच्छा हुई पाले तुझको। हासिल हो तुम, जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। समा जाओ माँ मज्जा में अभी, सभी चक्र तुम निरंजित करो। समा जाओ माँ मज्जा में अभी, सभी चक्र तुम निरंजित करो। गणेशा स्वयं पूजे तुझको, गणेशा स्वयं पूजे तुझको। शरण में तेरी जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। सोई आत्मा में प्रकाश भरो, जो बिखरे हैं चित्त एकत्रित करो। सोई आत्मा में प्रकाश भरो, जो बिखरे हैं चित्त एकत्रित करो। तभी दूर होंगे अंधेरे, तभी दूर होंगे अंधेरे। रोशनी में तेरी जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। सहस्त्रार में आके, सहस्त्रार में आके छू ही लेंगे वो हम आसमां। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, कृपा करो, सब पे कृपा करो, सब पे कृपा.
A very warm welcome to all the seekers who have joined us today. Uh, so just about this session, what we are doing here, what we mean to accomplish today, a little bit. So we are going to talk about Sahaja Yoga meditation, what Sahaja Yoga really is. We'll look into our subtle system, who we are from inside, the nadis and chakras. In each session we try to talk about one specific chakra in detail. Today we'll talk about Vishuddhi Chakra, and then we'll go for a meditation session. And post that, if you have any questions, you can come and ask on the Zoom session or on YouTube chat. So we'll try and cover all of this in the next hour or so. Just to let you know that we are having these sessions daily, thrice a day, one in the morning at 8, one in the afternoon at 4:15, one in the evening at 7:45 p.m. For new seekers to understand more about Sahaja Yoga, to get their self-realization experience. And for the seekers who have now established themselves, have understood the basics of Sahaja Yoga, they can join us at 5:30 in the evening every day for a deep meditation session where we also play Shree Mataji's lectures, and you can get a deeper understanding of Sahaja Yoga by joining that. So we started this session in the last year, pandemic hit us. We were in lockdown, all sitting at home, and a lot of people reached out to us saying that they want to understand more about Sahaja Yoga. And there was no way, because the centers are closed, there's no way to meet. So this online mode started. And now there are thousands of people who are joining us daily. And there were some requests coming in for people who don't understand Hindi so well. So we plan to have this one session in English. So if you have any people you know who might be interested in understanding about Sahaja Yoga in English language, you can direct this link to them. They can get benefited by this. So to talk about Sahaja Yoga briefly. So what is Sahaja Yoga? The word Sahaja Yoga itself. What is Sahaj here? So yoga, first the word yoga, we don't understand really what yoga is. We understand yoga to be many things like asanas or concentration or things like that. So the word yoga, actually it means, the literal meaning is union, addition. So the union of what? Of ourself with the divine. That literally is the meaning of the word yoga. So that leads us to the question, how can that happen? Can that really happen by doing asanas? Can that really happen by doing a lot of reading, intellectual discussions? Can that really happen by doing a lot of puja path, vrat yajna, etc.? So the answer to that, if one really goes down and thinks about it, is that none of this can actually give us that union, that self-realization, that connection with the divine. It is a living process. So it's a difficult concept to understand for us, because we do not know how to achieve something without doing anything. So that is why the word Sahaj Yoga, because you do not do anything. It happens on its own. It's a Sahaj process. That means that it is something that happens spontaneously on its own. It's a living process. So what is a living process? For example, our breathing is happening on its own. A flower becoming a fruit is happening on its own. So the thing is that, as human beings, we are at a very, very evolved state, at a very high state. but we cannot do any living work. All living work is done by God Almighty. So in the same way, so we have evolved up to this human state. We didn't do anything. We didn't cut off our tails to become human beings from monkeys. So in this similar way, there is nothing to be done here as such. So that is why this is a spontaneous process, living process, a Sahaj process. So that is why the name Sahaj Yoga. It happens, a union that happens spontaneously, that happens on its own. So now it's a, so all of a sudden there is nothing to be done. Then what do we do? How does this happen? It's a big question that comes in our minds. Oh, it's also a big task to understand how can we do it if we cannot do anything about it. So there is a great saint in Maharashtra called Ramadas Swami, who was the guru of Shivaji Maharaj. So once Shivaji Maharaj asked him about how Kundalini awakening happens, how Atma Sakshatkar is achieved, he said it happens tatshan, means that very instant. You just need to have someone to give it, and you need to be able to, you need to have someone who can take it. So the only thing that we can do is become patra. That means someone who is worthy of taking it. Shree Mataji is here to give it to us. So who is Shree Mataji? Shree Mataji, Nirmala Devi, is the founder of Sahaja Yoga. She started Sahaja Yoga practice in 1970. That is now almost 50 years ago. So the idea about Sahaja Yoga is that, so earlier we used to have yoga, we used to have Atma Sakshatkar, but that was like one guru giving it to one shishya. That was the parampara, that was the tradition that we had. That guru also used to test the shishya so many times and then select one, and then after a lot of penance, he would give it to him. Shree Mataji realized that this is, these are the worst times of Ghor Kali Yuga. And now is the time when we need to give it to the masses, because one person getting it is not helping us out. In the history, so many people have got it. And whenever they've talked about it, people have always thought them to be mad or crazy people, and have crucified them or given them poison or mistreated them so badly. We have so many examples of those. Now we are worshipping all of them. So that was the issue Shree Mataji always saw, that we need to give it to the masses, and then you can bring them up to a point, a certain level from where they can see the reality, the truth. And that is how the masses will awaken, and their Kundalini will awaken, and they will see the reality, they will see the truth, they will get the connection with the divine, and will feel the bliss and joy of the Almighty showering upon them. So in 1970, Shree Mataji started this work with very few people, and then slowly and gradually she moved a lot across the world, because her husband was also in the UN as chief of International Maritime Organization for a very, very long time. So she moved to London. She used to travel to a lot of places. Now Sahaja Yoga is established in more than 150 countries, and a lot of people are practicing it. So Sahaja Yoga is not really an organized place as such, because there is no course, there is no money that is charged, there is nothing that you can sort of pay for it, and it is just by like this, people talking about it to others, and just conveying the message to the masses about what Shree Mataji has talked about. So how does it work out, and how does it help us? Why do I need to do Sahaja Yoga? So first of all, how it works out is that we'll talk about this in detail with charts now, but just to give a brief about it before we go into that, is that there's a power of God Almighty residing inside us called the Kundalini Shakti. Awakening that power, that Shakti, and piercing it through the fontanel bone area, where it comes and meets the divine's power, which is all pervading. is our self-realization. That happens because Shree Mataji's photos give that vibrations and the Kundalini rises. So when it works out, when it really happens, the God's power, you can call it by whatever name you want, Param Chaitanya, or the divine energy, cosmic energy, whatever name you want to call it, it starts flowing through you. You feel it in your hands, in your palms, because it's all part of the nervous system, all these chakras and nadis. And when you start feeling that, you are in a state of bliss, of thoughtless awareness, where you're not thinking, but you have control of your thoughts, where you're relieved from the stress of thinking all the time. For example, when this power starts flowing through you, it starts curing you physically, mentally, emotionally, and all your surroundings, they improve. All the problems slowly fade away. And there are dozens of things that I can count right now which get better by doing Sahaja Yoga. But the real thing that happens is that for the first time, you feel that there is an all-pervading power around you. For the first time, you realize that there is God and you feel connected to Him. We as human beings have been worshipping Him in different shape and form. We've been praying to Him whenever we feel any problem coming on our heads. We have been persistently worshipping Him throughout so many lives. But we do not know if He's listening. So we pick up a phone, we dial, and we call someone and we say hello, hello, but we do not get a response really. So we do not know if the phone is connected or not. So for the first time that happens, through these vibrations, you can ask questions to which you do not know the answers. So you get the answers through that. You can do so many things with this power that you get. So this is something totally miraculous, and it seems like how you can get something like that so easily. And to that, Shree Mataji explains that now is the jet age. Earlier, you used to even travel by bullock carts. So now things are moving very fast because we see that so many bad things are also happening so strongly. So if we do not get to this, there's no telling how humanity would be saved. So it appears very fantastic. It appears very impossible, really, that something that great can really just happen spontaneously in a Sahaj manner. But it has been promised. Whichever scripture you pick up, they've all talked about a future where they have pegged someone to be the savior or whatever, and they will come and they will, there is some promise like that has been made. For example, 14,000 years ago, in Nadi Granth, it's written that actually the year even that they have given is 1970, that that such and such power will come on this earth and people will get their realization. All the grahasthas will get their realization, and so many things are described there. Nal Damayanti Akhyan also talks about this, where Nal, the king, he got hold of Kali, whose yuga we are living in, and he said that I'll kill you because you have, taken my wife away, and you're such a bad thing. I won't let your time come. But then Kali says that you first need to know my importance, and only then kill me. So he said, what could be your importance? He said, in my times, people would be in so much confusion and bhranti that in the Ghor Kaliyug times, they will start searching for God. And the people living today who are in Giri Kandras, that is in dells and caves, they're finding God. They will take their births as grahasthas and they will get their self-realization amas. So there are things so old in our scriptures describing something like this. So it should not be very difficult for us to gather that something like this can happen to us. Sometimes Shree Mataji gives this example that, you take something which is, so she used to give in her lectures in 1980s, where she used to say that you take this TV to a villager in India who's never seen a TV, and you tell him that, this TV will give pictures around the world. It will show you everything around the world. And he would say that you're mad. Similarly, we think ourselves to be just a box, that, there's nothing miraculous inside us. But there is. God Almighty has done every kind of placement, you can say, for us to get to it. We just need to ask for it, and Shree Mataji is here to give it. So what are we really inside? Let's have a look at that briefly. And we'll have a chart coming in front of us right now, which will talk in detail about what it really is that we are inside. So this is how we look inside. On the outside, we all look very different, color, height, shape, whatever. But on the inside, on the subtle level, this is who we are. So you can see some flower-like things. These are the chakras. There are 3 lines that show the 3 channels inside us. And you can see just above the bottom chakra, the red chakra, there is a triangular bone. Inside this triangular bone is the Kundalini Shakti. So now the question is, what is all of this, and how did it just come about? So this is nothing new. This has been described in so many of our scriptures in much details. You can go and check. This has been mentioned many times over. So what happens is that when we are in our mother's womb, we're 2.5 months old. That is when God's power enters inside us through the top of our head, where we had a soft bone when we were a child. That is the fontanel bone area. From that area, this energy enters inside us, and it creates 3 channels, 3 nadis, and all of these chakras. And the power that is residual, the leftover energy, it comes and settles down in coils. And coils means kundal, which is by the name Kundalini. And these are 3.5 coils. So this bone, this triangular bone that has been depicted here, is also called as the Sacrum Bone. So sacrum means sacred. And this, we can imagine that Greeks have given this name of Sacrum Bone. So they probably knew something that this is a sacred thing, a sacred energy lies here. So yeah, this is essentially who we are inside. And on the fingers, you will see that we have done some numbering, which is according to the chakras. So because these chakras, they control our nervous system, our plexuses. So we can see there are 7 chakras. In medical language, there are 7 plexuses also inside us in the gross. So these chakras are in the subtle, in the gross are the plexuses. And all these nadis and chakras are controlled by, essentially, they control all the gross system inside us. So we know that all the nerves end in our hands. So we feel all the chakras that we have and the nadis on our hand. In meditation, we feel if there is some problem in some chakra, we'll feel some heat or tingling on that particular finger or place. This is completely new. This you would not find in any scripture. This decoding Shree Mataji has done for us. When you figure out what the problem is, there are ways and methods in Sahaja Yoga to cure those chakras and get rid of those problems. So this is how it works out. Kundalini, when it rises, it pierces through 6 chakras, and God's power, God's energy starts flowing through us. What we'll do is now briefly talk about all the chakras. So the first chakra, the bottom one, is called as the Muladhara Chakra. This is the red one, which has 4 petals and is governed by none other than the one who is worshipped the first, Sri Ganesha. The chart will just come for you in a minute. So the Muladhara Chakra, you can feel it where we have shown as number 1 on our palm. So this chakra, as I mentioned, is governed by. Okay. What we'll do is first talk about the 3 channels inside us, which I missed out on. Then we'll talk about the chakras. So the left channel is called as the Ida Nadi. So this is the blue line that you can see here. And it governs the left sympathetic nervous system inside us. This channel is essentially, it governs all our emotions. It also governs all our past. So all our thoughts about the past, when we are someone who's thinking a lot about the past, that this happened to me, that happened to me, then we are working too much on this channel. And if we are someone who's very, very emotional, who works too much on emotion, then we are working too much on this channel, and we can ruin this channel too much, which can give rise to a lot of diseases which are more psychosomatic in nature. This is also called as the Chandra Nadi, and when we overuse this channel, it becomes very, very cold. Of course, we can feel it on the left palm. This channel is also the channel of desire for us. We do all our desires from this channel. On the opposite, the right channel is called as the Pingla Nadi. And this governs our right sympathetic nervous system. This channel is also responsible for all action inside us, all our thoughts about the future, all our planning, all our activities, physical activities, mental activities. They're all governed by this side. So the left side was emotions and desire. This side is thoughts and action. And this is more about the future. So people who are always on the future, thinking about the future, what I'll do, what I'll accomplish. Egoistic people who are dominating others, they all work on this channel a lot. When you overwork this channel, this being the Surya Nadi, this gets overheated, and we develop a lot of diseases because of that. So these are the two left and right channels inside us. They create two bodies in our head called as ego and superego, which develop because of our actions and our desires. So we are all the time, we are on the left or on the right. If you consider your thoughts, what you are thinking all the time, either you are thinking of the past or of the future. So we are never in the present. And the path for Kundalini to rise is really the center, the present, the Sushumna Nadi, which is the third channel shown in between. This governs our parasympathetic nervous system. Also, it governs everything that is autonomous inside us. So this Nadi essentially is the Nadi of evolution. All the chakras are centrally placed on this Nadi. And this, basically we have to be in the present to be in this Nadi, to be on Sushumna. And the Kundalini then rises on Sushumna Nadi. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Even these nadis we have covered in detail previously. Also, we have covered the first 4 chakras in detail previously. We'll just briefly talk about the chakras as well. So as I was talking about Muladhara Chakra, we'll move on to that. This is the chakra governed by Sri Ganesha inside us. As we know, he's the eternal child. So he is the giver of innocence and wisdom inside us. Riddhi Siddhi ke Data. Sri Ganesha is the one who tells us, who gives us the wisdom to know what is right, what is wrong. In children, when this chakra is awakened, they never go to wrong places, do wrong things. They always know how to protect themselves. This chakra gets ruined by people who are all the time conniving, planning to hurt others, or are lascivious, going wrong in sex. All of those matters affect this chakra very badly. As you can imagine, it controls all the organs around this chakra. So all of those organs get affected. When this chakra gets the energy from Kundalini, it gets better, and the diseases also can be cured, and we develop an innocence and wisdom like Sri Ganesha. So in Sahaja Yoga, we understand that when we worship gods and goddesses, we worship all of them in Sahaja Yoga. We also worship all the religions, the true prophets and incarnations that have happened. We ask for their real real powers, the real qualities to develop inside us in meditation. So that is Sri Ganesha's qualities that we ask for when we meditate on Muladhara Chakra. After this, so as I mentioned, you can see number 1 on our palm. This is the place where we can feel this chakra. After this is the Swadhisthana Chakra, the yellow center that is shown. It is the center of creativity inside us. It is governed by Sri Brahmadev Saraswati, the creators of the universe, also the giver of all kinds of art forms inside us. And then Sahaja, a lot of people have developed a lot in various art forms once they get their realization, because this chakra develops and you get so many qualities coming out. This chakra is also responsible for our thoughts, our planning, our futuristic mindset. So all our mental activity actually happens through our stomach. This chakra is responsible for providing the fat cells to get converted into gray cells for using in our brain to think. So this chakra is also taking care of liver, pancreas, so many other organs around it. When we think too much, all those organs get neglected and we develop diseases like liver trouble or diabetes and things like that. We can feel this chakra on our thumbs. When this chakra awakens, as I mentioned, we get creative powers. All of these issues get sorted out for us. Moving on, the third chakra is the Nabhi chakra, the green navel center. So this chakra is governed by Shri Lakshmi Narayan, who are the giver of, as we know, that wealth and well-being and everything. So when it develops, we really become a true Lakshmipati, and that is not someone who's just rich, but who's generous to others, who's kind to others, who's very nice and welcoming to people. And we develop so many qualities of Sri Lakshmi Narayan inside us. On the household side, things improved because Griha Lakshmi improves. On the outside professional side, things improve because Raj Lakshmi improves. So many of the powers of Lakshmi get awakened inside us. We can feel this chakra on the middle finger, the longest finger on both our hands. Around this chakra is the void, the Bhavsagara. So we have heard the mention of Bhavsagara in several bhajans several times, I think, and it is always said that Devi is the one who gets us across this ocean of Maya, the Bhavsagara. This is governed by the Guru principle inside us, the master principle. There have been so many real prophets, gurus, saints who have taught us in so many shapes and forms. They have talked about what true religion is. So our religion resides in our stomach, and whenever that gets upset, we get upset and we develop stomach troubles or vomiting and things like that. So there is an innate religion which is not Hinduism, Christianity, Muslim, all of that. It is the religion of us being human beings. That religion tells us what is right, what is wrong. There is no outside entity which needs to tell us that you don't need to do this, don't need to do that. If this religion is awakened, we all know what we should do. So this master principle is governed by several prophets like Guru Nanak, Shirdi Sai Nath, Muhammad Sahib, Lao Tse, Sokrat, Zoroaster, and so many others that have happened. There are 10 main incarnations that reside here. We can feel this chakra around the center of our palm, where there is a yellow mark around 7, you can see. That is the place where we can feel this chakra. Sometimes it goes in circles for people who get stuck here. So moving on, the fourth chakra inside us is the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra. So now, as I mentioned, Devi is the one who takes us across the Bhavsagara. Here resides the Devi, Durga, Jagdamba, the mother of the universe. And she gives us a sense of complete security and confidence that we are in the protection of mother and nothing can happen to us. So she is the one who protects her bhaktas, the devotees, the good people, and she's the one who kills the demons, the rakshasas. So in people who do not have a confidence or who do not have a sense of security, they develop issues around this chakra a lot. Women usually who develop breast cancer have some sort of sense of insecurity with their family maybe, or their husbands and things like that, where they develop that insecurity and they develop such diseases. On the left hand side is the place of our spirit. So this is a very important place. This what we say as Atma is nothing but the reflection of the God Almighty, of Shiva, the Paramatma. So we are all, it's said in Bible that we are made in His image. What does that mean? So we are all reflections. The Atma, we are truly the Atma, which is the reflection of God Almighty. That Atma is always there, but it is not in our attention until we get our realization. Once we get our realization, the Atma comes into our attention and we become one with the God. This is also the place of Shiv Parvati inside us. And as you can imagine, this is the place of love and compassion. When we truly know that everybody is the spirit, when we truly know that, that is when we develop the sense of love and compassion. On the right hand side here on this chakra, we have Sri Sitaram, who, as we know that, was the Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram. He teaches us how to lead our life in Maryadas. Whenever we cross those Maryadas, this chakra goes off. Also, this chakra on the left and right side is the place of the mother principle on the left and father principle on the right. So when we go against the father principle, let's say, so what does that mean? That if we are not a good father or a son, or even if we are not a good husband, then this chakra can go off. Or if we have estranged relations with our father, things like that can affect this chakra on the right side. In children, some children, when they lose their father too early, they develop asthma because of this chakra. So this chakra is essentially governing our mother and father principle on the left and right side. We can feel this chakra on our little fingers, both hands. Next, we'll talk in detail about Vishuddhi Chakra a bit. So this chakra is governed by Sri Radha Krishna. And when we say Sri Radha Krishna, we know their qualities. It's all very sweet, and we know that what all qualities Sri Krishna displayed in his lifetime. So, but something that we do not easily understand is that he was the one who developed the sense of collectivity inside us in things like Ras and Holi and so many other things. So when this chakra develops inside us, we develop this sense of collectivity. When we raised our heads, that is when this chakra got developed inside us, and we saw that we are a collective being. And we do our communication with all of this collectivity also through this chakra. So you can imagine how important communication is for being collective. All our ENT, our mouth, our persona on the face, all our hand gestures, all of this does our communication, listening and speaking and everything. So all of this is governed by this chakra on the outside. Also, our eyes on the outside are governed by this chakra. So this chakra not only does give us the sense of collectivity. When this chakra is awakened, we get the qualities of Sri Krishna, of being sweet to others, of knowing what to say, when to say. As he said, hitam vade, priyam vade, satyam vade. And we know we know that we are truly part and parcel of the whole collective. The whole collective being is God himself, and we are just one part and parcel, a microcosm of the macrocosm. That develops inside us when this chakra gets awakened. We know that we are just the drop in the ocean. We also know that this whole world is just a play created by God, and we are just a witness. That witness state that Sri Krishna has talked about, that comes and develops inside us when this chakra really gets awakened. This kind of thing makes us a very, very powerful personality. When you are truly looking at something and not reacting, you are in that state, in that zone where you are truly in control. You are not bothered so much. You do not react so much. This chakra gets disturbed on the left and right side because of very different reasons. So let's talk about the left side first. So when we are always feeling guilty, we are guilty of this. I didn't do this. I was so bad. I didn't do this. I couldn't do this. I'm useless. This, that. When we always go on saying things like that, this chakra goes off on the left side. Now, this is a very dangerous thing. People like this can also develop disease like angina. But more importantly than that, when this chakra goes off, you do not feel your vibrations on your hands. Even when people get their realization in Sahaja Yoga, they do not feel the vibrations on their hands because the nerves to our hands are controlled by this chakra. So very importantly, we do this prayer in meditation where we say that we are not guilty. On the right hand side, this chakra gets ruined by many things, as we can imagine. So people who shout a lot can ruin this chakra. People who speak too much can also ruin this chakra. People who use abusive words can also ruin this chakra. On the right side, people who try to dominate others. So you can see the opposite. On the left hand side, we are dominating ourselves. We are calling ourselves bad things. Where on the right side, we are dominating others. We are calling others bad words. So we can ruin this chakra by both these things. Yeah, so there are a lot of things to talk about Sri Krishna, but I think this should be enough in the sense that so on the left hand side is Vishnu Maya, on the right hand side is Sri Vitthal Rukmani. We can feel this chakra on both our index fingers. So whenever we meditate, we should pay attention to our fingers on our chakras, which is catching, and then we can figure out why is it catching. So after this, we have the Agya Chakra. This chakra is governed by essentially the incarnations that all talked about forgiveness. Like we had Jesus Christ, we have Buddha, we had Mahavira. All of them came pretty close in the timeline also, and they all talked about forgiveness. So this is very important. And unless we forgive, this chakra doesn't open, Kundalini doesn't rise, and we do not get that thoughtless awareness. All our thoughts are up to this level of Agya. And unless and until we forgive, we cannot cross over. On the back side, this chakra is governed by Sri Mahaganesh. We can feel this chakra on our ring fingers on both the hands. This chakra has a front and back, not a left and right kind of a. We'll talk about this chakra in detail in the next session. So when Kundalini crosses over from Agya Chakra, there are two entities that get formed inside us, which we'll see in the next slide. And both these entities get sucked in, and there is a place that gets created, a path that gets created for Kundalini to pass through Sahasrara. So we talked about two entities called super ego and ego. So all our actions, all our activities, our thoughts about future, our aggression, that leads into a ego that is created on the left side. Whereas all our conditionings, all our emotions, desire, all of that comes and builds up a super ego inside us on the right hand side. Both these entities are always dominating each other. So one of them is always heavy inside us. And there is no place for Kundalini to pass through. As Kundalini crosses Agya Chakra, it sucks in both these entities a bit, and there is a path that gets cleared out for Kundalini to rise and cross the Sahasrara Chakra. So the name Sahasrara essentially is about 1,000. So there are 1,000 petals, and the quality is really integration. So this chakra has integration of all other chakras in our head. Also, this chakra is the one that integrates us with the divine. This chakra, when it pierces, there is no quarrel inside us about, heart says something, mind says something. There is a complete concord inside us. There is complete integration inside us. So this is the quality of Sahasrara Chakra. When it opens, Kundalini pierces it. The power of Almighty that is everywhere around us starts flowing through us, and we feel it on our hands. So we have talked quite in detail about uh, all the chakras and our subtle system and what Sahaja is. What we'll do now is go for the meditation session, the self-realization session, and what we'll do is there are some steps to be done. Even though this is spontaneous, as I mentioned, there is some help that we can provide for Kundalini to rise, some clearance that we can do for our nadis and chakras, for the the realization to happen. So we'll just go through those steps in front of you. They'll appear in the screen. So what we do is try and clear us out using the 5 elements. So for example, there's earth, sky, water, air, fire. We always put a fire in front of Shree Mataji's photo while meditating. Also, we use it in different forms in Sahaja Yoga. There are various methods to clear ourselves out. We'll use a couple of them right now before going for meditation session. So as you can see, we'll put our left hand towards Shree Mataji on our lap and put our right hand on the Mother Earth. And we'll have some prayers for clearing out our left channel, Ida Nadi. After this, we'll put our right hand in our lap towards Shree Mataji, left hand towards the sky. This is for clearing out our Pingla Nadi, our right channel. After this step, we'll put both our hands on the Mother Earth. Now we'll bring both our hands in our lap and do all the further activities only with our right hand. So we'll use our right hand and put it on our heart, where the place of spirit is, Atma is. Then we'll bring it to our forehead, where we put the bindi and press it like we have had a headache a little bit. Then we'll put this hand at the back of our head and push back our head a bit. We'll have some prayers here. After this, we'll bring this hand on the top of our head. We'll completely pull our fingers and stretch the hand completely and put the center of our palm on the top of our head, where we had a soft bone when we were a kid, and press it hard. Also, we will move the scalp with the hand in clockwise direction. This is all that we will do. Now, so we can understand that doing some steps and methods and doing some prayers is not something that will give it to us, the divine, the ultimate that we are here for, that we are asking for. This will happen by Shree Mataji's grace. So we have to be placed very humbly, with all humility. We have to ask for it and pray for it. Shree Mataji's photos has such vibrations, Chaitanya coming out of it, that it works out the Kundalini awakening very easily for us. So we have to be placed with that attitude towards her, where we are asking for something with all humility. And you have to know it that unless you ask for it with all humility, you will not get it. So you have to be someone who's completely humble and asking for it from Shree Mataji. So Shree Mataji's photo has come in front of us. We'll look at her photo before going into meditation and pray with all our heart. Mother, please give me self-realization experience today. Shree Mataji, please give us self-realization. We will slowly close our eyes and try and bring our attention inside. Now we'll do all these steps that we had just seen on the screen. We'll put our right hand on the Mother Earth and we'll keep our left hand open in our lap towards Shree Mataji. Here we have to pray that Mother, please clear my Eda Nadi. Mother, please take out all the impurities from my left channel into the Mother Earth. We have to pay attention to our left palm, also our right palm. See what is happening. Mother, please clear out all the negativities in my Eda Nadi through Mother Earth. Bring your right hand into your lap and put your left hand towards the sky by bending the elbow. Now here we have to pray that Mother, please clear my Pingla Nadi. Mother, please take out all the impurities of my Pingla Nadi through the sky element, the ether element. Now put both your hands on the Mother Earth. Here we have to pray that Mother, please clear out all the leftover negativities and impurities of my Eda and Pingla Nadi and bring me into a state of balance. Mother, please bring me into the center, into the present by clearing out all the impurities of my left and right Eda and Pingla Nadi. Now bring back your hands into your lap. Put your right hand on your heart. So this is the place of Atma inside us. Our true self is the Atma, not this body, not these thoughts, not this identity. Whatever persona we have created, all that is not the reality. In reality, we are just the spirit. So we have to say it here with full confidence. Mother, I am the true spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am not this body, thoughts, ego, superego, whatever identification you have, you can call it and say, Mother, I am not this, I am just the pure spirit. This is a very, very important declaration, and our Kundalini loves to hear it. to say it with full confidence, Mother, I am the pure spirit. Now, as we are the pure spirit, we have committed no sin. We are not guilty at all. Because the Atma cannot commit any sin. Whatever you may think that you have done wrong in this life or past, just leave it for Kundalini. She's the one who has been with us for all our lives and she knows us the best. Let her judge us. Say with full confidence, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, because I am the pure spirit, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now bring this hand on your forehead and place it like you may be having a headache and then you kind of press your forehead. Press it like that. Here is a very, very important thing. Unless we do this, Kundalini doesn't rise. We have to forgive everyone, even ourselves. Who may ever have done anything wrong, we just have to give a blanket forgiveness to everybody. When we do that, God takes over. Otherwise, we aren't really doing anything by being angry with them. It's very important and say it that, Mother, I have forgiven everyone. Mother, I forgive everyone. Mother, I forgive everyone. Now bring this hand at the back of your head and push back your head. Here, for our own satisfaction, just once we have to ask for forgiveness from God. Just say that, oh Lord, if we have done anything wrong against you, this life or past lives, please forgive us. Now bring this hand on the top of your head, the fontanel bone area. Push back your fingers and just press with the center of your palm on the top of your head. Now, without removing the hand, just move your scalp in a clockwise direction by pressing hard. Here, even the God who's almighty, he cannot cross the boundary of freedom that he has given us. So we'll have to ask for it and really ask for it and say, Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me the divine union with the divine. Mother, please give me my Atma Sakshatkar. Mother, please give me my self-realization. You have to say this 7 times while pressing the fontanel bone area. Afterwards, you can bring your hand back in your lap. Just put your attention where the hand was and sit for meditation for half a minute. Now we should bring our attention on our palms. See if there is a cool or hot breeze coming out of the center of our palm. Also, you may see that some of the fingers are tingling or burning a bit. There could be something around the center of the palm, some heaviness. Now bring your right hand again on the top of your head and keep it 2 to 3 inches above the fontanelle bone area. You'll see that there is a cool breeze coming out of your head. It will be coming from a very specific place, so you can move the hand left and right, front, back a bit. You'll see that it will be coming from a very specific place. Bring back the hand. Now do this exercise with your left hand. See if there is a cool breeze coming out of your head. Bring back the hand in your lap. Now, we have got the first experience. To enhance it further, what we'll do is put both our hands completely towards the sky, push back our head, and our palms stretched out towards the sky. We have to ask one of these questions 3 times. Mother, is this the power of the divine? Mother, is this the power of God? Mother, is this the Param Chaitanya? Mother, is this the power by which the whole world is running? You can ask any one of these questions 3 times, and in answer, you'll see the vibrations increasing in your palms. Now bring back your hands back into your palm, lap. We have to keep our attention on the top of our head where we had pressed with our palm and sit for meditation for a minute or so. We'll slowly open our eyes and look at Shree Mataji's photo. You'll find that you can look at her photo and be completely thoughtless, even even with your eyes open. We'll sit in this position for half a minute more. Just look at a photograph and be in this thoughtless state. We'll bring both our hands in a namaskara to Shree Mataji and thank her for this blissful state of meditation. We have just felt it for the first time today. This is like germination of a seed. It needs daily watering and taking care of in the form of meditation, evening and morning, for 5 to 10 minutes. Also, if people have just joined in, I would recommend that you continue with this session for a week or 10 days until your experience gets completely established. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. Any new seekers who have joined us today, you can ask your questions in the live chat on YouTube, or we have also shared the link to our Zoom meeting. You can join the Zoom call and chat with us here. You can also share your experience in the chat. We have also shared a link to a WhatsApp group. In this group, we share daily meditation links, Shree Mataji's lectures, and tutorial videos on how to do foot soak, how to take bandhan for new seekers. So it will be very helpful for you. On this YouTube channel, we conduct self-realization session every day. 3 times these sessions happen. First session is at 8 a.m. in the morning, then 4:15 p.m. and then this one 7:45 p.m. Usually these sessions are conducted in Hindi. Only on Saturday we have these English session. So if you are more comfortable in Hindi, you can join every day, do meditation and ask your questions. On Saturday, we have this in English. If you are doing it for some time and you are feeling the vibrations on your hands properly, if all your doubts have been resolved, you can join daily meditation session at 5:30 p.m. on the same YouTube channel, same Zoom meeting. We meditate on chakras and nadis and listen to Shree Mataji's lecture in this session. So every day these 4 sessions are being conducted on the same YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the channel or join the WhatsApp group, you will easily get the links to these sessions. Jai Shri Mataji. Once again, if you have any doubt, any questions, if you have any experience to share, please do share in the chat or join the Zoom meeting to talk with us. Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji.
Yeah, Mayank.
We had one question earlier on the YouTube asking what is Shraddha and Samarpan.
Yeah, I saw that. Maybe it's not a question for this forum, but I think Shraddha and Samarpan is something that comes to you from experience. So when you have developed your experience properly, you know in your heart who the person sitting in front of you is, who's given you realization. That is when you develop a bhakti, Shraddha, Samarpan towards them. And it cannot be done mentally, it happens on its own. So to understand these words is just Shabda Jalam. There's no point in understanding that. It is something that happens spontaneously on its own. And it will happen only when you get the experience properly developed. So for all new seekers, it's most important to get vibrations, understand what they mean, understand what a great science it is that Shree Mataji has given us, and what a great power she has given us. When we know that fully, only then these things will develop inside us. Yeah, Mayank, I think we don't have any more questions today.
Yes. We had also talked to many Sahajogis who had traveled with Shree Mataji, lived with Shree Mataji. We have a playlist of these talks on our YouTube channel. You can watch that also to understand more about Sahaj Yoga and this Shraddha and everything related to love that Shree Mataji has given us.
Correct. True.
One more question has come up. कौन सा कुमकुम श्री माता जी के फोटो को लगा सकते हैं for puja? And
see, there are no such hard and fast rules in Sahaja Yoga, and it's better not to delve too much into these processes and methods. Whatever is available is fine. Whatever works best for you is fine. There is no compulsion that this kind of thing needs to be used, that needs to be used. It's like you have to treat her like your mother. She's like your mother. So whatever you do with your heart, with innocence, it's fine. So no need to think too much about all of that.
Jai Shri Mataji. So we don't have any more questions. We'll close this session now.
Sure.
Yeah. Again, who has joined us for the first time, we request you to please continue this for some days. If you have any doubts or you want to share your experience or the vibrations, you can do that on the daily sessions that we conduct here. Those who are already doing Sahaja Yoga, we request you to tell your friends and family members about Sahaja Yoga. Everyone needs this more than ever now in this pandemic. So help them the way you can. Tell them about Sahaja Yoga. Tell them about the joy that you are experiencing here. You can share the links to these sessions also. Jai Shri Mataji to everyone. Thank you to Shri Mataji for this wonderful session, for the joy that she has given us. Thank you. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.